Ever tried to hug a snowman? That is how it feels like when you try to make friends with Swedes.
Wait, what?
If you've ever lived in Sweden, you might notice something pretty quickly. Social life can be quite a challenge here. It's like trying to find a unicorn in a snowstorm. Many people find it tough to make Swedish friends. It's almost like Swedes have a secret handshake that no one told you about. Especially for foreigners who come to work or study, the feeling of loneliness and alienation is common. It's like being the only one without an IKEA manual.
Haha, that's very funny.
A recent survey revealed that 40% of foreigners don't have any Swedish friends. Online platforms are buzzing with tips and advice on how to make Swedish friends. Spoiler alert, it involves a lot of fika.
Is it really that hard?
Yes! Loneliness is on the rise, not just among the elderly, but also among younger Swedes. So why exactly is that? Is there a secret Swedish code we're missing? Are Swedes really that cold? Well, the simple answer is no.
Thank you!
Those who manage to have Swedish friends say that they are the most warm, loyal, and supportive people on the planet. So, again, why do they appear a bit icy then? Some people say, it is the weather. It is freaking cold over there, and that cold weather made people cold too.
The challenging climate of Scandinavia has left its mark on the Swedish character. These dour, latter-day Vikings are slow to warm up to strangers.
But what about other cold countries? Canada is quite cold too, and people there are more social than the Swedes.
Swedish, even colder people, if you can imagine.
So, what is it about the Swedes that made them appear cold? Meet Dr. Daun, a professor at Stockholm University who writes extensively about the Swedish mentality. According to his analysis, the Swedes' perceived coldness is a result of three main factors that shape Swedes' attitude in general, and towards foreigners in particular. So, let's take a dive into the Swedish mindset to unravel this mysterious behavior. The first thing that sets the Swedes apart is the separation between private life and public life. Unlike other nationalities, Swedes draw a line so sharp between work and private life, you could cut cheese with it. What that means is that it is very common for a Swede to study or work with colleagues for years without socializing with them outside work, much less being to each other's homes. Even if they call you a good friend, it doesn't mean you'll ever see their living room.
Are you kidding me?
For foreigners, this makes it really difficult to make Swedish friends since work is the only place of contact with Swedes.
It's not helpful.
Another form of this separation between private and public life is the lack of talking about emotions or personal stuff. Only in front of their closest and more intimate friends would Swedes express their emotions. So, even if your Swedish colleague is super friendly, don't expect to hear about their weekend drama. Swedes refrain from discussing issues that are not work-related, which makes the conversation largely impersonal and dry, which really doesn't help much if you try to be friends with someone, right? So, to see something like this?
In Sweden, we believe for a proper team to function, partners must be completely open with each other.
Yeah, we have no secrets, not even our bodies. We sauna it together all the time.
Yeah, well, that's very unlikely.
Well, that is disappointing.
The second thing about Swedes is their fear of conflict. Swedish people are famously known for their conflict aversion attitude. They'd rather wrestle a moose than confront someone.
Moose? Yeah.
They try to avoid conflict as much as possible. For example, let's say a Swede has an issue with his neighbor. It won't end in a face-to-face chat. That's way too confrontational.
I'm not confrontational.
Instead, he would leave a note. Because nothing says I'm upset like passive-aggressive stationery. That is why Swedes are known for their angry notes. It's practically an art form.
Istället för att prata med varandra så skriver svenskar anonyma arga lappar.
Förlåt, det lät lite töntigt bara.
Ingen fara.
There is actually a website dedicated for such notes. Check it out. It is really funny. This fear of conflict is one of the reasons why Swedes do not like small talks. They even call it cold talk or dead talk, which tells you how much they don't like small talks.
I have a hard time with small talk.
In other countries, small talks are the way to break the ice with strangers and warm up to them, which eventually might lead to friendship. But not for the Swedes. They prefer their ice unbroken.
No small talk, huh?
They are very concerned to say something that could offend the other person or could lead to tension. To them, it is easier to avoid the potential risk altogether by not talking to strangers.
Better safe than sorry.
That means an awkward silence is more welcome and much easier than small talks.
Awkward silence. Tap it.
And speaking of strangers, Swedes tend to be suspicious towards them. This negative attitude is more obvious if the stranger appears to be from out of the country. Sorry, tourists.
Jag tycker det är typiskt svenskt att vara rädd för nya saker, missunnsam, misstänksam mot främlingar, etc.
The reason behind this is that Sweden, for most of its history, had rarely encountered other cultures. The population has been exceptionally homogeneous, right up until the large immigrations of workers beginning in the 1960s. This attitude towards strangers is another reason why Swedes do not like small talk.
I don't talk to strangers.
It's a vicious cycle. So vicious, in fact, that some cities in northern Sweden launched a campaign encouraging people to say hello to each other.
Okay, that is sad.
In another city, a housing company makes it obligatory that tenants talk to their neighbors 2 hours a week. Such attempts aim to break out of this extreme loneliness and to get people out of their shells.
That's actually a good idea. It's not bad. Yeah.
Now we come to the root cause of Swedes' behavior, and that is Sweden's unique individualism.
Here we go.
In Sweden, the most important unit of society is the individual, not family, ethnic groups, or anything else. After building the institutions in the 1930s, Sweden had developed a strong state that aimed to secure individuals' absolute autonomy. What that means is that individuals are fully independent from one another, from families, friends, employers, significant others, etc. This independence is not only economic, but also emotional and social. Individuals are free from all traditional bonds of community.
I don't need you or anybody else.
That's, right there, is the Swedish theory of love. Relationships built on equality, freedom of choice, and autonomy, not on mutual dependence. It is no surprise then that Sweden scores higher than all of Western countries when it comes to values that emphasize self-realization.
Just wow.
This emphasis on individual autonomy is mirrored in every corner of the Swedish system. From social insurance to child benefit allowances, to student grants and other forms of state redistribution. These are unquestioned social rights, which accrue to individual citizens. This focus on individuals' autonomy came at the expense of social bonds. As the late sociologist Zygmunt Bauman said, independence has stripped you from the ability of socializing.
People who are trained in independence are losing the ability to negotiate cohabitation with other people because you already are deprived of the skills of socializing.
That can't be good.
To bring it all back, Swedes' apparent coldness isn't about you being a terrible person. It's just a culture thing. Think of it as extreme independence training. It is a culture deeply rooted into full independence, risk aversion, and keeping private and public life separated. When you understand that, it will become easier to find your way in Sweden's social life. Sure, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but at least now you know what you're signing up for.
Thanks for the heads up, Kev.
Have you tried making friends in Sweden and felt like you were on a solo mission? Share your funny stories in the comments. And remember, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this.